wiring and the mindset of a CEO and a COO, and they're very different. But they're also complementary. So there's yin and yang, right? So the CEO mindset is they love to start things. They love to ideate. Like I said, they like to vision, they like to create. They are focused more on where we're going, not so much of where we are right now, and even less so about how we're going to get there. The COO is wired to finish things. They love to land the plane. They are kind of like the string to the kite of the entrepreneur, not to hold the entrepreneur down, but to take some of these ideas and get them into real progress, real executable plans. So the role of the COO, I think, wears two hats. Number one, they are your trusted strategic thought partner. I often say they're like your consigliere, right? They sit on the shoulder of the CEO and they are the person that they can confide in, they can share, they can throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks of those 10 ideas every day. The COO is then going to be able to take that and say, okay, I've got it. Now let me go make that happen. They're wired to execute. They love to implement. The zone of genius of a COO is they love running other people's companies. They don't like the front stage. They like the backstage. And so when the entrepreneur has the ability to rely on someone that they can trust to actually run the ship, it gives them tremendous confidence because then they can go and take bigger risks. They can see a bigger future and they can have more clarity and say, okay, we're going to expand in this market. We're going to be able to take these initiatives that have been on the idea block for quite some time because there's somebody that's in the organization that's going to make that happen. Some of the things that we do with our clients that I think exist in most companies that are looking to scale and grow, like I said, the founder, CEO wants the growth and scale, but sometimes they go like this. They put the foot on the gas. They're like, I want the growth, I want the scale. And then subconsciously, without them maybe even not knowing it, they're putting their own foot on the brake because their backstage can't sustain the growth. There's no structure, there's no foundation. So it's going to feel like it's more pressure, it's more stress on the founder. So they kind of stop themselves. But one of the things that we do, of course, is in the beginning, we build trust. We assess what's really going on in the business, a little bit of like opening up the hood of the business to see what's working, right? And no judgment, right? There might be some good things, there might be some bad things. And we look at the good things and say, great, why are these happening? How do we do more of them? And if there are things that are not working, how can we update, change, and improve them so that we can do things in a different way? And then lastly, the other thing that they bring in is what I call a culture of accountability. The idea is not having the COO be the savior of the company. They're not the jack of all trades that's going to do everything. They are there to kind of elevate up how we're doing what we're doing across the entire organization. So kind of getting team members aligned so that they're more responsible. They're more accountable for what their role is, what their responsibility is. Everybody's rowing in the same direction. And then as a result of that, they can do things more efficiently so they can get things done more quickly and more effectively. So they get it done at a higher level. So it's a little bit of sure you've heard the expression, a rising tide lifts all boats. That's kind of the culture we're trying to create as we're moving towards that path to scale and path to grow. So it's a little bit of what the COO does, but it's, I think, an important distinction between the mindset and the wiring and the zone of genius between a CEO and a COO. They're very different, but they're very, very important kind of dynamic when they're aligned.
Yeah, and I think you said it this way, but I'm going to say it again to make it really clear. So usually CEOs they like to start things. COOs like to finish things.
Yeah.
So that way they go hand in hand. So you have the starter and the finisher. That way you can see it through to fruition. And I think that's why a lot of businesses fail, is because they have the starter, but they don't necessarily have the finisher and in place, and the business owners don't understand that. And so they either keep spinning things up, but they don't ever mature. The business never really matures. And that's one of the models that we had put together at Dave's, is like a business maturity model. Like, at what stage is your business in that it's actually maturing? It's going from a startup to, hey, we're getting a little bit more sophisticated. You don't want to put too many processes in place too early, because that can actually cause as many problems as not having the processes.
Right.
So yeah, so you want to kind of build over time and just get things more formalized. As you add more people, you want to put more processes in place that actually ensure excellence. And that's really what you're trying to do as a COO, is as the company grows, try to make sure at the different levels you're actually still maintaining excellence in the organization.